One of the things that is a big influencer is thought. Thought's actually a trespasser that can go into other people and things and change them. I was fascinated by the idea that there are many studies showing that spiritual healing works. So I figured if you can take a thought and send it to someone else and make them better, that in itself undermines everything we think about how the universe works. So in the late 90s, I started interviewing and speaking to many cutting-edge scientists, physicists, biologists, and I discovered that they were on the verge of what is a new science, a completely new view of the world. The underpinning of all of that was the discovery that we are all part of a giant energy field, a quantum energy field. And that has a lot of implications. First of all, we're not solid and stable things. We're also not collections of chemicals and electrical signaling. We're a lot more subtle than that. We are a collection of vibrating energy at the subatomic level. Our subatomic particles are trading energy back and forth with each other, but also with all the things in all the universe. So this little game of tennis is going on between all the things in all the world. And it has a couple of amazing implications. Subatomic particles are also waves, and they have an infinite capacity to store information. So when two waves bump into each other, they take on the other information. So essentially, this field is like a mothership of all of the universe's information for all time. Also, waves go on to infinity. So essentially, if we're part of this giant energy field, we have the capacity to access information anywhere in the universe. So I understood that this really changes the idea of healing. Because if we're not separate things in a separate universe, in a separate planet, then we have influence on each other. And certainly the evidence I saw was one of the things that is a big influencer is thought. Thought's actually a trespasser that can go into other people and things and change them.
So that's awesome because information is always constantly being exchanged through this field, right? We're all connected. It's showing how kind of science and spirituality are overlapping, explains why prayer might work or intention might work or good vibes, bad vibes. So talk to me about how this is demonstrated through these global intention experiments that you're doing, and then also now in the smaller groups for healing.
After I researched what became my book, The Field, I had a little bit of unfinished business, which was a lot of evidence that was coming through experiments by these scientists that thoughts are an actual something with the capacity to change physical matter. So I have a background as an investigative reporter. And so the journalist in me was basically saying, well, how far can we take this? Are we talking about very subtle effects like shifting a quantum particle? Are we talking about curing cancer with our thoughts? So I decided to put this to the ultimate test. By then I knew a lot of scientists working in consciousness research. And I also had a lot of readers around the globe because the field was in 30 languages. So I thought, well, if I just put these two things together, I'll have the biggest global laboratory in the world. So that's what I did. Every so often I would ask a scientist at the University of Arizona or Penn State University, University of California, to set up a very well-controlled study. And then I would invite my readers or an actual audience, if I were speaking somewhere, to send the same intention to affect that target. And we started out small, doing things like trying to make seeds grow faster and trying to purify water. And we moved on to trying to lower violence in war-torn areas and highly violent areas in America and elsewhere, and even healing someone of post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, we've run 33 experiments to date. I wasn't at all sure it was going to work, but it worked. It really worked. I mean, of those 33 experiments, 29 have shown measurable, positive, mostly significant effects. Just to put that in context, there's no drug out there that has that kind of consistent track record.